If there's one thing that's indisputable about Lil Gator Game, it's that it's accurately titled. This Steam and Switch-bound slice of life sure is a Lil Gator game, and I think it's pretty good at being one too. What does it mean to be a Lil Gator game? It means being about 3 to 4 hours of low-stakes, no-pressure adventuring and friendship-making set on a mid-sized island, all while playing as a gator, of course. When I say no pressure, I mean no pressure. The combat is one-sided because you're slapping around cardboard cutouts that can't exactly fight back. If you're looking at some of the footage and seeing the green main character and the ceramic pot smashing, you might have Zelda on the brain. So is Lil Gator Game just a childlike bite-sized facsimile of Breath of the Wild? Not exactly. The important distinction being that it's the children of the cast who want this to be Zelda, not the developers. Barring some of its traversal techniques, this is a light-on-mechanics, vibes-focused walking sim. If you're willing to meet it where it's at, then it does reward you with its childlike wonderment and emotional story. In Lil Gator Game, your player named Gator is trying to earn the attention of his older sister returning from college in the best way he knows how, playing pretend RPGs on the island. After a brief intro sequence that shows you the ropes, you're opened up to the island in its totality and can explore basically all of it. You'll largely be stumbling into different characters that you can become friends with by performing some very simple tasks for them. Some of those friends push the main story forward, and others are optional, giving you a currency which you can funnel into new cosmetics or rewarding you with a fun side item. There's no quest log or minimap or even a regular map, so even though fundamentally the idea of walking around an island and performing a bunch of fetch quests sounds very rote and mechanical, it never really feels that way. I was always just kind of screwing around and looking into each crevice and corner, and I'd eventually stumble into someone and do their little task. Repeat that process enough times till the credits roll, and you got a good idea of what Lil Gator Game's flow is like. I think what was most surprising to me was how many ways you can navigate this island. Don't let that kind of derpy little walk fool you. This little gator can move. Early on, you'll gain access to the ability to climb walls, glide, and surf on your shield. There's nothing about these tools that are novel, they're very transparent homages, but what I think is novel is their placement in an otherwise slice-of-life game. It feels good to walk around in this game and hop around on your shield across the water. It's a fine level of locomotion to keep your fingers busy while the game accomplishes its true goal, keeping you interested long enough to take in its atmosphere and its story. You can circumnavigate the island doing little bunny hops to maximize your speed and get to your destination quickly, or you can climb to the highest heights, then drift down as you slowly soak in all the sights. There's no loading screens, and even the pop-in is handled in such a way that it feels organic, with the fog and its appearance just leaning into the game's painting come-to-life look. Lil Gator Game is a comfortable game. Its low-poly, minimal texture aesthetic, combined with its fall watercolor palette, give it this final days of summer vacation type feel. If that's not a feeling you felt in a decade, then that means the game is working. One of its unlockable shield skins is those gym class ground scooters that are tucked away in your deepest brain recesses. That's the kind of thing this game is going for. But beyond those shared cultural callbacks, it's also got a compelling if simple story. It's a game about growing up and not growing up. Your sister's initial pushback on the idea of reliving the playground glory days is the central conflict that pushes everything forward. And though that tension may resolve itself rather predictably, it's still done in a way that's cute. By the time the credits roll, you'll be looking back and thinking, "Aw, wasn't that nice?" Maybe I need more adjectives to describe this game, or maybe that's just the perfect sentiment. "Aw, wasn't that nice?" isn't just a summary of my thoughts on the story, but also the game in its totality. If I had to describe it in a word, it would be frictionless. Picking it up and navigating through it will never leave you frustrated. It was carefully curated to be chill, no pressure fun all around. And by the time you think you've seen it all, it won't try to reel you back in or surprise you with something new. It'll just end. There's no overt signals that this is coming to Xbox or Game Pass, but I'd be willing to bet that they're thinking about that because this is a great Game Pass game for folks on the fence. The little mechanical depth introduced by its traversal systems are unlikely to convert folks who don't like this kind of game in the first place. But if you're willing to accept its walking sim foundation and are okay with buying a game that's movie length, as long as you're only paying movie ticket prices, then you could do a whole lot worse than Lil Gator Game. It's not aiming to be your game of the year, just your game of the weekend.